Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I am Elizabeth Fuentes. I am developer advocate on AWS. You are going to find this like an accent, like Latino accent, because I am from Venezuela and I was relocating for the Latino America team from Chile. I didn't work on Venezuela. I was relocating for the Latino America team from Chile to join the generative AI team here in San Francisco. So I am based here and I am part of the Agentic team of the developer advocates. That's my website. If you can know more about me, you can go there. And today we are going to talk about when RAG hallucinates numbers. This talk is, is the first part for a series of blog or content that I create about agentic hallucinations. So I found five techniques, not six, not six, sorry, five techniques about how you can prevent agentic hallucinations using code. Because sometimes you think that the problem is the LLM, the large language model. And that problem with LLM can hallucinate is a problem super old, like about, 1 year ago. But because today, in the era of the agentic application, the problem is the agent, not the LLM per se. So you can avoid this using five techniques. You can avoid that using GraphRAG. That's the thing that we are going to talk today. Using semantic tools. And semantic tools is when you put in your agent a semantic vector store that can search tools. So you don't put in the agent all the information for all your tools. You only connect like a vector store for tools inside that agent. You can avoid that with multi-agent validation. Several agents capable to evaluate your answers and neurosymbolic guardians that can put inside your code the rules to avoid things that you don't want this agent can answer. So it's rules that you put in your code. It's not rule that you put in a prompt because the prompt is not everything. The prompt is like something that you recommend to the agent to do. And we have agent control steering when you can steer it, the agents sometimes because you have hard rules that you say, hey, agent, you can't do that. Never. But sometimes you have something that you can probably do. For example, if you have the travel agent, you can say, hey, if someone asks you for room for more than 4 people, you can say, hey, I only have room for only 4 people. And you don't block the booking. You can recommend a booking for more than one room. And yes, today we'll be talking about GraphRAG. This session, I changed my slide, but I'm going to return because this is important. This session is based, all these things that I just told you are based in paper research. It's not something that I create for myself. I did a research about agentic hallucination. And each of these things that I just told you are based on papers. Someone do a deep research about all these techniques, and they are recent paper, no more than 6 months ago. And this session for today is based in this paper. MetaRAG, if you want to take a picture, don't worry, because I want to share this with you at the end. Okay, so what this paper say? The paper say that the agents can create hallucinations like periodic statics. So if you are using RAG, normal RAG, when we create a RAG store, what we do? We choose chunk. So we have like little pieces of chunk of this information. So you can create chunk in a bunch of different ways. But the thing here is when you ask the agent something about these are related to this database, you are going to receive the 3, 5, whatever that you do the configuration for similarity for this question. So when you ask about statics numbers, the agent is not going to know, because the agent is only going to give you the 3 or 4 things that can answer that question. It's not going to search in the old database, in the old vector store to give you the information. It can give you incomplete retrieval because it only gives you the 3 most relevant answer that can answer that can answer your question. And if you don't build a good application with a good prompt, with a good hooks, with a good whatever, it can fabricate, automate answers for you. Because the agent, the LLM, the only thing to want to do is like they give you the best answer. And if he don't know anything, probably he's going to do something out of the man. And okay, what is more that I have here? So yes, in this session, I hope I have time. I'm going to show you 2 agents comparison. The first agent, we are going to use the same data store. So we are going to only to use 30 hotel because, oh my God, when 300 is a lot. So I'm going to create the vector store for RAG. I use Fuentes for that. And I'm going to create a tool capable to use this RAG, to use this tool to do the retrieve. So I'm going to put this tool inside my agent. So the agent is going to be capable to do the retrieve using this data store. And then for my other agent, I'm going to build of a large graph database using the same data using Neo4j. And a thing that I have here because I am not a graph person, I start to do my research about graph because this paper, and I asked to my assistant and say, what is the best way to build a graph knowledge base? And yeah, we interact, blah, blah, blah. And he told me that Neo4j is the best way. I don't work on Neo4j, I work on AWS, okay? But I like to share information for you because you are a developer and you need the best. So why Neo4j? Because Neo4j, it have a capability, something that allows you to build the graph without giving them the context. So it uses a LLM to understand the data, to have the nodes, and then create your graph store. And that's why, because I don't need to understand my data to build the graph. I only put the data there and they can do everything. And yeah, I have my GraphRAG engine with a tool capable to do the retrieve in this graph store. I don't need manual schema because the LLM can do everything. And I using the entry resolution, but I prefer to show you this using this one. No, this one, no. Yeah, this one. So how these tools, the tool that I'm going to build works for the GraphRAG. So I have my query. So I use the LLM to use the query to read the schema. Okay, the query is how many hotels have pool. So I use the total street to that have the structure, and then I build a zipper query. The zipper query is something similar to SQL for graphs. So it's similar, but only for graph. So my tool, with the context that I give them, is capable to create the zipper query using the context for the query, that the question. And then he do the retrieve and returns me the information, and the LLM is capable to give me the answer. And the graph that I have is similar to this. I have hotels, rooms, amenity, policy, and service because they are like a travel assistant. So I have a travel assistant connected with a hotel database. And please note that I don't have price because we are going to ask about price and the agent is going to want me to answer me something. So this is what I have. So I have an agent with RAG. We already know that this works, but it's not working for everything. And I have my Agentic GraphRAG. And let me see if I can do something here. Look at that. Okay, I think I can work with only one hand. Let's see. Can you? Thank you, Sandy. You are the best. I love you. Wait, this is not. So, yeah, it's bigger. I don't know what is this pizza. Okay. And yeah, this is a repository that I'm going to share you with you later at the end of the session. So you can see here, I have all the ways that you can use to avoid agentic hallucination. And the sixth one is not a technique, it's a code that you can use to deploy all this technique using Agent Core. Agent Core is a service that we have that you can put code inside of AWS and it can run your code inside AWS in a container so you can deploy agents into production, I don't know, in about 1 minute. And you have memory, you have gateway for semantic tools. This is another talk that I deliver, but you can learn more about this here. And yes, for these agents that I'm going to create, I'm using a Strands agent. And Strands agent, I don't know if you talk the talk that Sandy told you, that Sandy just delivered. She talked about Strands and how you can create autonomous agents and blah, blah, blah. And one thing that Strands agent have is open source. So when I say open source, I can use a lot of type of model and you can download it, you can do whatever you want. So for this example, this demo, I'm going to use a model with OpenAI. Yes, I work on AWS and I'm using OpenAI model. And I'm not using Amazon Bedrock because my idea is to show you that you can use this with whatever you want. And if you want to learn more about this model, you can go to the Strands Agent website and you can go here, perfect, to model providers. And there is, you can use yes, of course, with Amazon Bedrock, with Anthropic, with Google, and you will Vercel, that's new. And you can use Olama, that there is everything there. And if you have the agent, let me see, I saw here is the agent loop. If you see this agent loop, you can see that, yeah, this is the behavior for a lot of agents. So you send the input with the context, and when we say the context, sometimes it's the memory. Because if you want your agent remember the conversation, you need to send it the memory and all the last conversation history, blah, blah, blah. So when you go to the agent, start the agentic loop. So this agentic loop is it uses the LLM to understand your query, your context, and everything. He goes to the tools. He chooses, yeah, this is the tool that I need to do. She chooses the tool, and it gives you the answer. So this is I like to remember that because sometimes not everybody have to know that. So I run this. I have my OpenAI key. This is a lot of configuration. I have my Neo4j store, database store running is there. I have all my keys, all the data. This is for the Vice vector store. And when you need to build a vector store, you need to do the embedding. So for this demo, I'm using an open source model. It's a library. It's not super smart. It's something super simple that everybody can run in the computer. This model is right here. And that's my index. This is the index files. And this is for my Neo4j. And yeah, when you use Strands agent as a framework, as a agentic framework, this is the way that you use to create the tools. So you use the tool decorator, you put the context, and that's it. So once I run my agent, the agent is going to understand that everything that has the tool decorator is a tool. So I don't need to do anything more. So this is my simple tool to search in my FAQ, in my FAQ database, using the files vector store. And this is my tool for the capable to create the queries for the knowledge graph. So I give you the context. This is an example, and that's it. The tools, and they invoke the driver. I show you the driver there. And this line here is how, yeah, because I just received a messenger here. I was curious here doing my Slack messenger. That's private. That much we are okay. And this is the way that you can, I create my agent, I put in a name, the prompt, you are a travel agent, use vector search to find relevant information, and I put the tool in the model. When I show you the agentic loop, if you want to, I don't know, if you run this agent and you send a query, you can change the prompt, you can change the tools, you can change the model provider in the next loop. So you can use the same context information, the same chat history that you just get in the last loop invocation, but you can change everything inside this agentic loop. So in the next loop, you can say, hey, I don't want to use more OpenAI model. I want to use Anthropic invocation. You can do that. If you want to put a hook inside this loop, you can do that. If you want I don't know, to use another tool, if you want to add or remove tool, you can do that in the next loop. So you don't need to create a new agent for the same chat history, the same invocation. You can do that between loops invocation. So yes, let's see here. So I have my two agent that has, you can see that I already run this. I needed to do that. This is a demo on live. I needed to do it. And I want to set some queries. So in this test, I'm testing aggregation. So the query is, what is the average guest rating across all hotels in Paris? I asking a number. So I hope it's work. And for my traditional RAG answer, it gives me the average guest rating across hotel in Paris. Listen, this is an easy question. Why? Because I asked this agent about Paris. So when the RAG is searching, it's going to search first hotels in Paris. And probably I have more, I don't have more than 3 hotels inside. And because that, probably I'm going to have a good question. But what happens if I have more than 3 hotels in this query, in this retrieve? It's going to give me the average for the first 3 hotels in this data store. So let's see. Oh, well, I'm okay because it only have 2 hotels inside this data store of this rack. Right now, the models are capable to do the calculation. I don't have any problem with this. Yeah, so they have the same answer because the query knowledge graph, it gives me the same answer. But another thing here is that we pay for tokens in and out. You can see that the answer that the knowledge graph give me is small. And what happened here? I have all those amount of tokens just there. I don't know, but the model is easy to understand. When I do a zipper query, it can see everything. It's a better understanding for the model to give me the answer, and the model doesn't do that or chachara that is put in there. The next test is precise counting. How many hotels have swimming pools as amenity? Same. Run this. And yeah, how many hotels? Yeah, for the first one is a pier. Thirsty, no return any information, blah, blah, blah. And the other one, there are no hotels that offer swimming pools. Okay? Here, probably because I'm using the small one database, I'm not using the 300s, probably I having this answer. But when I did the test, and I was having the 300 hotels inside this data store, the first one, it gave me the wrong answer. It gave me, I don't know anything about hotels. And the other one gave me, yes, there is, 5 hotels inside this data store. And for this one, what are the rooms types and price for the highest rated hotel? So the highest is blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. And how you don't know that? Because I don't have the prices inside the data store. The highest rated hotel in Paris, is there any company? Blah, 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 whatever the available information. yeah, that information is not, yeah, so receive notification, blah, blah. It seems that the Hyatt Hotel Harmony does not have a specific room time. So, yeah, so it say no. It doesn't invite me everything. So out of domain detection, tell me about hotels in Antarctica. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So for the first one, it sends the search didn't know, yeah. If you are looking for hotel or lodges in specific areas in Antarctica, come on, there is no hotel there. And for the other one, he told me there are no hotels in Antarctica, it's devil data. It didn't give me a recommendation. So that's it. Super simple, I think, and I have 2 minutes. Let me share another thing with you. So yeah, I'm not handy. Yeah, I'm done. Thanks. So when RAG, probably GraphRAG, probably is okay. It's good for some things, but it's not the best for all my agents, for all my RAG. So use GraphRAG when you want precise query, when you want precise answer. But if you only want semantic search, it's okay, use RAG. I want to share this. I have a PDF in a website I can share. Aggregation, the same. Multi-hop reasoning, if you have a lot of data that you want to connect, the best is a graph. Because with semantic search, you are not going to have that. And structured data, yeah, when you want to audit results, it's better a graph. And yeah, when you want a simple retrieve, yeah, let's use a simple RAG. And thank you. Here, there are all the resources. You have the repositories, you have the PDF for this session, all information is there, and you have a CISA for me. 5-star. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the session. And if you want to learn more about the other thing, the other hallucination technique, they are just right there. Everything is there. So thank you.